everybody. Sorry I haven't been on in a while. I haven't had a whole lot going on. Well, I've had things going on, but you don't want to hear about the things. Having issues with my property manager. Anyway. Trying to create a paper trail. She's just writing whatever on it. So I had to go to court, try and stop her from doing what she's doing. So we'll see how that goes. It on cruise. So I just hate when I see cops trying to be sneaky. I was planning on staying in the apartment for another year, and now I don't know what's going on because I haven't signed the lease. I haven't signed the lease because she just keeps putting notices on my door. It's all to do with that neighbor downstairs that keeps banging on my ceiling. She's telling her I'm doing it, which is not true. Just another day, right? I want to move out of New Mexico, but I don't know where I'm going, and I'm trying to work on getting rid of everything in my apartment. Kind of going through a phase where I'm not keeping anything that I never wear. So that's a lot of things, right? That's a lot. Because I don't wear most stuff in my wardrobe. So I'm either trying to sell it or donate it. You know what I mean? I haven't heard from my children. It's been like 9 years. They don't reach out to me. Prisoners have more rights than I do. My prisoners get to see kids, but I don't, because I'm this horrible person. I've never seen a cop waiting under the bridge back there. It helps when you hire a corrupt lawyer. Edmund Perea, the most corrupt lawyer you can find in New Mexico. I don't mind. He can sue me all he wants because I know he's corrupt. Anyway, Connor, Caden, and Colin, it's your loss that you don't want to talk to your mom. You're allowing your father to control your relationship with me. So it's your loss. You're missing out because you're believing whatever he's telling you without finding out the truth for yourself. I get so sad not having any kids to talk to. I get so sad. I just have to remind myself to keep going. You know? My fear is my children are putting money ahead of their mother. It hurts me, breaks my heart. But I've been dealing with this alone for so long. I never get. Oh my God, what are you doing? support me unless I give him $18,000. There's this sweet lady online. She's so sweet. Because I sell stuff on Macari, and she's always, she's not like the other people. So I know there's good people in this world. But then there's the people like Brian Baca that want to tear you down. And Samuel Baca and Vera Shulte. Horrible people. They're as fake as you can get. There's a place in hell for people like that. People that deprive children of a mother. Connor, I've written him so many letters. I even resorted to writing on the checks that I send them, trying to get him to listen. Never, ever, ever do I get a response. Ever. Not even, hi mom, how are you doing? I miss you. Nothing. All because I don't buy them Xboxes and I don't take them on fancy vacations. And they missed out on a beautiful relationship with their mother. All they had to do was reach out. Caden hates me. He thinks I'm the most horrible person in the world. Never got any support. The only people that supported me was the people that had no money and couldn't do anything. Those are the only people that supported me. People that were in a position to help, choose not to. They didn't want to get involved. Kind of like my neighbor at the apartment I'm in. She doesn't want to get involved. But she's still willing to say hi to me. I need a vacation. I need a massage and I need a vacation. I have not had a vacation. Kind of stop talking to people because I want to wait till I get things figured out. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be telling people my problems. Because they don't care because they're not in a position to do anything. So there's no point in telling them. All the lawyers out there. The last lawyer I wanted $18,000. They wanted $10,000 for a psych eval, and then they wanted another $8,500 for 3 months. He told me it'd last 3 months. I said, so basically you're asking me for a new car. You're asking me for $18,000. You're asking me for $18,500. Like I'm just going to pull it out of where? Where am I going to pull $18,500? $10,000 for a psych eval? I mean, what drugs is he on? Why would I pay $10,000 for a psych eval? Is he out of his mind? He's hurting my kids. Like he's hurting Caden, Connor, and Colin because they don't know what to believe. They're put in a position where he's telling them they're not allowed to talk to their mom. What kind of psycho does that to children? What kind of cycle? I don't know, because I don't know what to do. I've tried so hard and I get nothing back in return. Nobody supports me. Tell people I should be a drug addict at this point. Because most people that have gone through everything I've gone through would resort to drugs. I don't even drink. I haven't drank in like 3 years. Just because I don't have money to throw at my children. Just because I don't have a big inheritance to leave them. All they care about is money. All they care about is material things. They don't know what genuine love is because they've never been taught that. How many videos I made? How many times I've reached out to my children? I never even get nothing back in return. I get nothing. Mothers that wake up and get to see their kids every day. I never get that. It's like I gave birth to them and they couldn't give a shit about me. And it leaves you with this hole in your heart. You have all this anger. Like when people go through hardship, I don't even care anymore because I don't even want to know about it. You know what I mean? Like if I see people crying, I couldn't care less, because when I cried and when I was hurting, nobody reached out to me. Nobody cared. So I think I've developed that mentality that I don't even care anymore, because I've been so hurt. Like my heart has been ripped out and thrown back at me. What kind of a court deprives children of a mom? Stephen Klump and Armond Carian, they said, oh, the children can reach out to you if they want. But he's over there, Brian Baca, on Red Bloom Road, telling the children. Hold on, is that another cop? Freaking hell. Wow, they must be really desperate to get the numbers. They're hiding under bridges now. They're desperate, aren't they, to get the numbers? Oh. Somebody got pulled over. What the hell? What are you doing? It's a fender bender. That's twice the cops were hiding under bridges. Twice. If anybody knows my sons, Connor, Caden and Colin Baca, that live on Red Bloom Road, just tell them I love them and their mom cares about them deeply. And I would give anything in this world to hear back from them. And they need to put aside cops are out in abundance today. They need to put aside all the hurt and anger they have, because we're all hurting. I'm hurting just as much as they are. It would mean everything in the world if they just said hello to me. Can you imagine waking up every morning and not being able to talk to your children? Not being able to go to their parent-teacher meetings? Not being able to know who their friends are? Do you have any idea how that feels? Any idea? Do you even care? Most people would have given up. I think I've aged like 10 years. All these wrinkles. I'm not a huge summer person, unless you're living near the beach. I wonder how many vacations they're going on this year. I would never include the grandparents ever again, and I would tell everyone to keep the children away from the grandparents, especially grandparents with ill intentions. You know, not one person on his side of the family ever reached out to me, ever asked me how I was feeling. Not one person. They just washed their hands and took his side and didn't care. All those people that pretended to care about you the whole time, you were together. Anyway, I have so much hurt, but I'm trying not to let the hurt damage me any more than it already has. pain that I have in my heart. Scars. All they have to do is pick up the phone and say, Mom, I miss you. Mom, I love to talk to you. That's all my children have to do. They don't want to know the truth. They don't care about the truth. Brian Baca is a monster that works for Sandia Labs. He's a man-child. That's what he is. A man-child. Not even a man. He's just a child. My children are going to grow up to hate him once they find out exactly what he did. And the grandparents too. They're just going to, once they find out the truth, what he did to their mom. Connor, Caden, and Colin, if you don't want to know the truth, you don't want to reach out to me, you want to believe whatever he's putting in your heads, no respect for your mom, like none whatsoever. I know he's a disgusting person. I know him. The person I met at the beginning and the person I married is nothing like the way he ended up being. He's a complete narcissist. He doesn't care about anyone else but himself. And he's trying to raise my children to be just like him. If anybody knows Brian Baca that works in Sandia Labs, he had his father and his mommy going to court all the time. His father in his ear telling him what to do. He threw away his marriage for his father. And all it takes is just one person to care. Like one person that has the resources to care. There's so many crooked lawyers out there. All they hear about is money. They want like $300 to $400 an hour. Well, where do they think people are going to get that money? Jennie, those cops are desperate for money, aren't they? They're desperate for money. They're out in abundance, trying to make their numbers for the month. Can I tell you something? And you're going to think this is as weird as hell. When I moved into the apartment changed names after I moved in. It used to be Casa Rufina Apartments, and then it became Monarch Apartments. And so after it changed names, I had money stolen out of my apartment. I had $50 and then I had $100, and both times the maintenance guy was in my apartment. So I was pissed. So I went to the office and I was like, confronted him. I was like, and of course he denied it. And of course the woman in the office said, "You've no proof that he took that money." And so she's like, "If you want to make a report," she didn't even take a report. Like, as an apartment manager, aren't you supposed to know, like, if people are stealing in the apartment? Anyway, she didn't want to do nothing. So anyway, she told me to call the police, which I did, right? I called the police and I made a report, and I kind of forgot about it until I had to file a restraining order against my land property manager because she's been creating a paper trail of lies. Because the woman downstairs keeps banging on the ceiling and she's saying I'm doing it, which is not true. And then she's making up all these other things, saying that I'm throwing stuff in the apartment, I'm deliberately making her life hell, which is not true. But anyway, everything's my word against hers because I live on my own. And so you know, if you want to file a restraining order, it's $150 per restraining order. So if I wanted to file a restraining order against the property manager and against the woman downstairs, that would be $300. And I couldn't file a restraining order against the woman downstairs because I didn't know what her name was. And they said they can't do it unless they know her name. So anyway, I called the police to get the report that I made. I was trying to find out what the number of the report was that I had made when I first moved in, when I had the money stolen from my apartment. And the guy started looking at it. Okay, first of all, I talked to a cop. I don't know what his name is. I don't even care. And he goes, "That's not harassment." I said, "She's leaving notices on my door, trying to create a paper trail of lies." He goes, "That's not harassment." I'm like, "It is harassment." I said, that's you know, that is harassment. And then I couldn't talk to him anymore because he was stuck on the idea it wasn't harassment. And I said it was. So then I said, "I want to talk to your supervisor because we're not getting anywhere." I was like, this conversation isn't going anywhere. And so anyway, his supervisor called me back, and I told him what was going on, and because I was trying to get an idea of what I needed to do. And then I asked him, I said, I made a report back in, October of last year when I moved into the apartment. I said I had made a report that I had money stolen from the apartment. And then he goes to me, he's like, "I can't find that. I don't see that." I said, "What do you mean you don't see it?" He said, "Oh, we get tons of reports and I don't see it." And then I said, "Well, what do you see?" I said, "Do you see anything from October of last year?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I said, "What?" And he goes, "I see that you reported a weapon stolen from your apartment." I was like, "What?" He said, "I never reported a weapon stolen from my apartment." I said, "I reported money stolen from my apartment." I said, "Where are you getting that?" And he goes, "Well, that's what's written in the report, and if it's not right, you need to go to the sheriff's office to clear up." I said, "Why do I have to go to the sheriff's office to clean up some guy's mess when he obviously confused me with someone else?" I said, "I want to go, I have to go to court for my property manager, and I was hoping to get a copy of the report. Now you're saying that the report that I made is saying something completely different than what I reported." And he goes, "Yeah." How can he get that confused? How can he confuse money with a weapon? I don't even know what kind of weapon he's talking about. Anyway, now I don't have that report. I have something else. And I don't know how to clear it up. Because I already called the sheriff's office. I called, and they told me the report was coming from the county, and I had to call the county. So then I called the county, and I left a message, and so far no one's gotten back to me. So, and then the guy that took the report, he's got a different supervisor now. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, that's my life. That's my story. I gotta go. Connor, Kate, and Colin, don't give up on your mother. Put all your hatred aside. Don't let your father dictate whether you have a relationship with your mom. Don't put money before your mom. Anyway, if I see another damn cop. Alright, I gotta go. I gotta put this down until I figure out. I thought that was a cop. It's not. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Love you, boys. Mommy loves you. Get away from that narcissist you're living with on Red Bloom Road. And don't believe whatever your grandparents are putting on your head. I don't have grandparents. I don't have parents. Both of my parents are deceased. You could have come back to Ireland and you could have met all your nieces and nephews, but you never reached out to me. I would have taken you back to Ireland. But then he would have gone to the court and said I was going to kidnap you. Anyway, talk to your mother, okay? You only get one mom. Talk to your mom. I gotta go. Bye-bye.